Hi, I'm Kev, this is John, hello Carol, and the whole of our podcast listeners I'm sure would have heard of your charity Anna's Hope, but for those who maybe haven't, I think, John, it's fair to say we need to start with a nice sort of general overview of the charity. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
From the beginning, tell us the story of Anna's Hope.
Well, if you don't know about it, very sadly, 17 years ago now, I lost my little girl Anna to a brain tumour. She was only 3 years, 8 months, and we vowed then and there we were going to have to do something with her. Anna lived or she died, and as I say, she did die. And we set up Anna's Hope to give hope to any other child that's been touched by a brain tumour.
And 17 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's made me go all goosebumps.
It's making me go already.
Incredibly long
And me too.
period of time. We've spoken many times on different radio stations in different places.
We have.
Remember meeting you at Addenbrooke's once remember the Brainbow stuff. I mean, the work that Anna's Hope does as a charity is phenomenal. Over those 17 years, you really have improved outcomes, improved the lives of so many children who, as you say, have been touched by brain tumours. Yeah. So 17 years on, the work's not stopping, the efforts by all of you and all of your team continue as strong as ever.
Yeah. Every child across the east of England now is helped by Anna's Hope, and we've put a specialist team in. It's the first in the country, and 2 weeks ago, Kev, you'll be pleased to know that Brainbow has actually been taken on by the NHS. So Anna's legacy is phenomenal. We're helping over 200 children a year.
The whole of the NHS, the NHS just locally?
Well, the NHS, but they're going to roll it nationally. That's
the point. I mean, that's huge.
It's a huge legacy, and as I say, we've dedicated 17 years of our life, but there's still so much more to do. And but yeah, as you say, it gives you goose pimples.
It really does. Yeah. So Brainbow, what is Brainbow?
So Brainbow is a service that it was our idea together with the consultants of Addenbrooke's, and we realised in the first place there was only one specialist nurse in the region for over 300 children, which was impossible. So we, Anna's Hope, funded one of those in the first place.
I remember that.
Yeah, you were around then.
I was there,
That's right. And your radio station helped us to do that, and many other people out there as well. Then she was taken on by the NHS. And then we said, right, what's our further stream? And this was it, Brainbow. So we co-founded Brainbow. And yeah, we're pleased to say 2 Fridays ago, it was taken on by the NHS. So incredible. Yeah, we're living in a dream at the moment. It's a huge legacy for Anna.
Now, whether you're listening to this podcast before the Great Eastern Run or after the Great Eastern Run, it doesn't really matter. John, as we sit here and record, you're wearing your Anna's Hope T-shirt.
I am.
Do you want to add some comments about your support for the charity?
Yeah, well, my daughter Eliza and I are running the 5K. I've done the Great Eastern Run before, but I've never done the 5K before.
Much easier.
It is.
Much nicer, hey, Carol?
Well, I enjoyed last year because it comes past our house.
You can fly.
I can fly. Well,
go faster.
Eliza and I are really looking forward to it. And there was always such a great atmosphere, a great vibe to it. And last year was actually the first time I've ever been a spectator on the streets because it comes past our house. We moved house 2 or 3 years ago, and obviously there was no Great Eastern Run or 5K for a while because of COVID. So now it's back. And yeah, excited. I am looking forward. I am really looking forward to it. And when you asked us to do it, it didn't take much persuasion to do it. It motivates you to get out and go. 5K is quite a nice distance. You've done it. I mean, I've done a lot of park runs
to a half
before.
Marathon, it's a breeze, isn't
well,
it?
The half marathon is I always feel like I'm at the end of. People always say to me, "Oh, I bet you went out for a pint afterwards, didn't you?" No, I went and had a cup of tea and I went to bed after a half marathon. That's what I did every time I've done it. I mean, I've done it 3 times, and every time I've thought there's no way I could do that again. No way I could do a marathon. But the 5K, I'm looking forward to going around the city and the feeling afterwards, and going past the cathedral as well. We mentioned it earlier. It's a brilliant new kind of addition to the end of the route.
It's an improved route.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Carol, back to you. In terms of this event, the Anna's Hope 5K Fun Run, what would you like to say about it? Would you like to thank any supporters? Would you like to thank any of the people running it for you? What would you like to say?
Well, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody, not just for Anna's Hope, but for everybody, because as you say, it brings the community together. And I'm wishing everybody who's running for any charity the best of luck. For those that are running for Anna's Hope, guess what? We have fairy cakes, our famous fairy cakes at the end. So what more could you possibly want? And the drinks in the Anna's Hope Fairy Marquee, which you can't miss us. But we're really looking forward to the day. We've got so many runners. The race is just about sold out. Yeah, it's phenomenal. And as I say, I as a person, as myself, I can't wait to see the big beaming smiles across everybody's faces, because the fairies are giving out the medals at the end as well. And yeah.
Can I ask something? How did you first get involved in the 5K? How did that all come about?
Good question. 14 years ago now, we've been doing it, and you guys yourselves have been involved with it as well over the years. Yeah, we've worked very hard. I've worked alongside the council, as you know, alongside your good selves and the radio stations. Yeah, I became a mummy on a mission, really, and I'm very passionate about the whole race. Obviously, I'm passionate about the charity as well, but I believe you can work together, and this is what we've done. And yeah, it really proved itself.
Did you come up with the idea? Who came up with the idea? Because obviously the Great Eastern Run had existed for 30 or something, 25 years. At that point, it would be, or 30.
Yeah.
So
alongside half marathon, there was always a 5K option, but I don't think it had a kind of sponsor, if you like. And the charity, in some ways, is the sponsor of the 5K, because it's the Anna's Hope 5K fund run, isn't it?
It's the title charity. We're not the sponsor. We're the
title charity. Yeah.
I mean, there was a gap in all those years, and we stopped. So when it's restarted again, it was actually our idea that I came alongside the council and thought, look, we can do this. Because Anna's Hope actually has a schools challenge as well, and it's really exciting because not only we have prizes, we have trophies for schools that raise the most money. And this year we've teamed up with Little Bug Snug and with Usborne Books, and not only are they raising money for their school, but they're raising and helping children with brain tumours. They're doing something for the libraries as well, so it's great.
It's a nice shout, getting schools to kind of almost challenge each other to see who can raise the most. Yeah,
and I love seeing children. The first step of running is walking, and we have little ones doing it from 4 onwards to 90-year-olds. But we've also got companies doing it as well. And I want to give a big shout out to some schools.
Go on, have you got a list of
I have. I'll
have
to use my. So I'd like to give a shout out to Costa School. They always do it, as you know, Kev.
C.A.B.
The C.A.B. We've got Neen Park Academy. There's got loads from that doing it as well. We've got Oakdale Primary in Stanground. And businesses, I'd like to give a shout out to all the park runners, because I've been down to every park run going. Me on my broom, my fairy broom, I've been here, there, and everywhere.
You've been annoying all the park runners for weeks.
And a big shout out for Peterborough and Stamford colleges. They're all doing it as well. And as I say, businesses, we've got iSigns. We've actually got the Chamber of Commerce as well. And the new CEO's doing it from there as well. And as I say, I just wish anybody who's running for any charity as well because some people are running through adversity, and some people are just running for their personal bests.
See, that's the ones that always get you when you see things like you get this with the Race for Life as well. I'm running for, and you see a photo of somebody who's been lost, or a name. I'm running for.
I mean, the emotion really kicks in. I mean, whether it's Race for Life, whether it's the fun run, the half marathon,
absolutely.
When you see people brave enough to wear T-shirts that have a photograph of a lost loved one, or just some words about a lost loved one and their particular charity that they've chosen, that's when your heartstrings really get pulled. But I guess that is motivating. And that person doing that run, raising the money that they're raising, I guess they're motivated themselves by knowing that they're running for the memory of that lost loved one. But imagine the reaction as well from other runners that are reading people's messages. They get motivated too.
Yeah, but and even you're trying to concentrate on your own, but then you're thinking about people you don't know.
You can't help it, can you? Just get emotionally involved, and and that's. I can feel it now. I can feel the passion. I can't wait till Sunday now. As I say, I'm full of exhilaration,
full of exhilaration mode. That moment when the race starts, when there's like a little countdown, when all the runners are lined up, they've done the training, they've had the sponsorship forms out to friends and family, they're lining up on embankments, ready for their moments when they're starting. I wouldn't compare it to a race in the Olympic Games, but in a way, there's similarities.
But it is for the community and the region. The whole region's come together, and I'm doing it now. Countdown for sleeps. I think we're on 5 now. 5 more sleeps to go, and it's great.
It's an event that is really well supported, I think, by Peterborough people.
Yeah.
We should mention AEPG. They are now the sponsors of the Great Eastern Run. They're putting money into it for their reasons, that it aligns with their whole idea of wanting to develop a certain part of the city in a kind of active led way. We all know how important being active is, not just to our physical health, but also to our mental health as well. So again, I guess the alignment for Anna's Hope as a charity with something that promotes such good physical and mental wellness is also a good thing for you to kind of acknowledge.
Well, yes, it is. But it's a good thing for the whole city and anybody around. I mean, we're really pleased that Good Running Events have taken over the run last year, and of course it's just building it up again after COVID. And as I say, the race is 99% full for the whole thing, which is fantastic, considering we've had COVID as well. So yeah, any sponsors that Good Running Events can get involved with the run is fantastic.
Can I mention something that's one of my favourites?
No.
You're a guest, Carol. I want to mention the world record, which is one of my favourite days ever in Peterborough.
I'll never forget you with that day.
Tell us about that day, because some people won't know what it was. Right. We mentioned the cathedral earlier on. Yeah. Obviously, it was there. So tell us about that.
Well, actually, this ferry feels very much part of Peterborough Cathedral. It is the icon of our city, and it gives me goosebumps about that as well. Because yours truly, actually, Kev, you did it as well. We abseiled down the side of Peterborough Cathedral prior to this event I'm about to talk about. I dressed as a fairy, and I passed out at the bottom. Because I wasn't used to doing anything like that, and they brought me around with flapjacks. But the reason why I was supposed to, and I had to go back up again because the GoPro wasn't working properly.
Oh, no.
Yes, the PT pulled me back up again. Yeah, I had to do it again. But anyway,
right.
So the event we're talking about, which obviously you filmed and very much part of, Anna's Hope are the Guinness Book of Record holders for the most amount of ferries in one place at one time. And that day was just so spiritual. It was awesome. We brought the whole city to a standstill.
Can I just come in again? So the world record is the most amount of ferries
in one place at one time.
So who were the ferries?
The public.
Everybody,
even John.
Yeah,
John was filming it.
Yeah.
He was dressed as a fairy.
Briefly, yes.
Excellent.
Anybody I could get hold of was dressed as a fairy, but it was lovely.
Now, how many fairies were there?
Gosh, now you've got me now.
800, 900, something like that.
It's
a serious number.
Yeah.
And they were all in the grounds of the cathedral.
Yeah.
They all had to be at the front, like green, didn't they?
On the green of the, yes.
And they were counted, verified, checked.
Oh, properly, everything. It's properly the Guinness Book of Records, and we are still the holders. Yet I get people saying, are we still the holders? And yes, and we always will be, because they don't realise that is Anna's legacy as well. She loved fairies, and that's our brand, and we will always be the Guinness.
And that perhaps does need explaining, that the whole point behind fairies is because Anna loved
fairies, and actually it was her sister Sarah that actually drew the logo, and that became our brand. And Anna always said it was pink for boys and blue for girls, and so hence the t-shirts. But on Sunday, if anybody is actually going to be running for Anna's Hope, as I say, I wish everybody their personal best or whatever. Anybody who's running for Anna's Hope, either in the Anna's Hope 5K Fun or the half marathon, because we have people in there too, then please come and visit us, because we have a lovely, especially fairy grotto marquee in the grounds of the embankment, which we're all going to be in afterwards, and come and join us for fairy cakes and drink and to celebrate.
Where'd you get your fairy cakes from?
Well,
secret.
You don't know.
Secret magic dust.
It is a secret. But this year, Peterborough colleges are doing it for us. So,
The tie-in with the colleges is lovely, isn't it? And any tie-ins with the university?
Yes. The whole enterprise, the Inspire Education group, we're all involved. I've got a nice relationship there, and we're going to be doing things with them going forward as well. In fact, we've got we've got students coming from part of their college as well, which are not only going to be running, but they're also other ones are going to be helping out at the event in the baggage area.
Great. So well, those kind of volunteers need a shout out, because this event
absolutely
would not happen without people giving up their time. And I think it's over 300 volunteers
Yeah.
are needed on the day.
Everything from round and round, from as far north as Warrington, and right in the city centre.
Well, not just from route marshals, baggage area helpers,
water,
volunteers, people handing out the goodie bags at the end, and the
Marking
waters, and the medals.
And the fairies. I've got loads of
The fairies will be
helpers.
enforced.
You got 800 fairies.
No. I've got our fairy helpers, our team, which is great. And but to be able to see a sea of, we're all over the races, and to see a sea of fairies that.
So that's the near future. You said earlier on that there's still a lot more to do. What more things would you like to do with Anna's Hope?
Well, we want to make sure that our model is turned out completely across the country, because obviously with the NHS money is in short supply, but we have proved with stats and evidence that the work of Anna's Hope is needed across the whole of the country. It is pioneering, and any child that's lucky enough to survive can be helped by us at Rainbow, our Anna's Hope team. With Anna's Hope, every single penny that's donated goes to the cause, and that's our USP and has been. So as a mum, I feel very proud that we've been able to do that. Not only that, Kev, we've managed to get the first debate in Parliament. My husband is also a trustee of brain tumour research, and together with other small brain tumour charities, we've got together and we've got the first debate in Parliament, not just for children but for adults as well. So we would like to do research. Our charity is set up for research, but it is so important, if you've been touched by a brain tumour, to help the here and now, because it affects not just the child, the whole family. And with Anna's Hope, nothing's too much trouble. As you saw when you were in Addenbrooke's, that each child is completely different. They may never be the same person again. When Anna came around from her 8.5-hour operation, she couldn't swallow, and there was nobody in Addenbrooke's that could help her, either in the adult section or the child, and that's when I became a mummy possessed. I didn't know how to rub 2 pennies together or how to do anything, but all of a sudden it just came.
And 17 years later, the passion that you have to raise money that can make differences, tangible differences that you can physically see, to so many children that are touched by brain tumours is incredible. So keep being brilliant, keep being inspiring, and let's hope that Anna's Hope in the future can just go on to somehow even greater
but
things.
what I must say is we couldn't do, Anna's Hope couldn't do what we do without the help and support of the local community and people around, because as I say, it's phenomenal what we have done and achieved, but we couldn't do that without the public. And the Great Eastern Run to us is is really important. It's a big mega event in our calendar, and I'm so proud to be able to support it, not just with good running events, the council, and be part and friends with everybody. It's really important, and I cherish that. So thank you.
Thank you, Carol. And there we end this latest podcast. I think it's episode number 17.
Yeah, 17. E17.
We'll see you for number 18.
Yes.
Was that all right?
You were very good.
Oh,
very good.
Right.
That's a novel way to end the podcast. Carol Hughes saying, was I all right? You were brilliant.
Oh, did you record that?
We're still recording it.
We're still recording. Oh, don't know.
So we'll be back for episode 18.
We will in a couple of weeks. If you see me running around on Sunday morning, give me a wave.
Give him a boo. I mean a wave.
Give everybody a wave.
End.